Hey, HPQ Army, Bernard's done it again. The HPQ George vacation indicator has struck again. I'm halfway around the world and I get the infamous phone call. George, hey, do an interview today. So where am I? Habibi, come to Dubai. Welcome to Beyond the Press Release HPQ Dubai version. Bernard's done it again, as you saw from that video. I don't know how he does it. Usually I'll do the big intro, but I'm not because it's two press releases we're talking about, and I don't want to cover each one because there's going to be a lot of coverage there. So Bernard, you're making a big splash again, my friend. How are you?
Very good. Very, very good.
All right, two press releases. Novacium silicon-anode batteries at the 900 plus cycle mark, outperforming everybody, shattering everything. I'm not even going to do the details. And then the second one today, you increase your equity stake in Novacium. We're going to talk about that. Start the batteries first.
Yeah.
You've reached you've reached 900 plus cycles. We've seen all the data, so I'm going to go straight to the meat of it. Are these results shattering because you've compared them to Panasonic, LG, Samsung, and it seems like you're way over their results at 900 cycles. So are these shattering? Are these the kind of
Yes.
numbers that players around the world are going to look at and say, who are these guys?
Those are phenomenal numbers. Probably somebody's going to try to find me somebody that comes up with 900, but we've done it 900 with 18650 batteries, okay? Full-size batteries. We're not talking about half-cell batteries, which are very easy to get good results. We're talking about industrial cell batteries that were tested because we wanted to demonstrate that we have a great control, and that's what we say in the press release, okay? We have a unique control over making silicon-anode based materials for batteries that work phenomenally well with graphite. Okay, so this is a niche we are. We're going to be working on developing and going to the next stage. And as I said at the beginning, in the first time, the preliminary results were fantastic. Then we got 100 cycle, 200 cycle. We kept getting more and more excited as every time it is. But now to be able to say, we're at 900 cycle. Okay, just to put it in your grasp, okay, at 900 cycle, okay, our battery is as performant as a brand new of the three batteries we named, plus or minus 10% milliampere hour.
Wait, say that again.
Okay.
At 900 cycles.
At 900 cycle, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you take a look at 900 cycle, we're over 3,100. Okay. Well, the Panasonic starting capacity is 3,500. That's zero. They're at 3,500. We're at 900, 3,001. Okay. The LG starts at 3,500. Okay. But that's zero. We're at 900 cycle. We're at 3,100. And the Samsung one, well, it starts at 3,000. So at 900, we're even better than our old 900 battery is even better than a brand new Samsung. Okay.
Yeah,
that's
shattering, right? These are shattering numbers. What are we missing that the world isn't calling you right now to say, who are you guys and how do we do business with you?
One of the big issues that HPQ has is so many of our results, from fume silica to this to hydrogen to waste energies, are too good to be true. Okay. And they are, I've said that. But as I've said, very, very soon, every one of those verticalities will become, too big to ignore. But we needed to go to 900. So this is real data results. It's out there. It's going to come into it. Now we can start the next steps into commercialization. That's what I said in press release. So, find me another publicly traded Canadian company that publishes those type of results. There is none. There is none. People are going to try to say that they have better results than we do. There is none. Just give an example. We talk about our Coulombic efficiency at 99.88. Well, we have a competitor that's bragging about 82%, and they're going through solid state batteries for other things. We're making batteries that people can use.
Competitor or small cap peer?
Small cap peer. There's no competitor.
Okay, so
okay, our competitors are the big companies. Okay, but not going to be a competitor because they're going to be interested in working with us, because what we're going to be offering the industry is a capacity to make this material, okay, outside of the logical places, which is right now in Asia. So we're going to develop, and we already have the pathway design, the ideas design, and those issues to move in this regard. So this is what puts us in a unique space, in a battery space for silicon anode material. We really have this well, and this is something that HPQ has full patent over. But all the savoir-faire, okay, all the knowledge, all these results, okay, came out of the work of the guys at Novacium.
clearly. And
So they're the brainiacs. Yeah.
Is that why you're using language like I picked up on it when I was reading it? I've got it bolded here. Delivering world-class capacity, paving the way for next generation lithium-ion batteries. I mean, I think that's pretty bold for you to say that, given how mature and competitive the lithium-ion battery space is. And you're actually saying we're paving the way for next generation lithium-ion batteries. Is
We're at
that
900 cycles.
Oh yeah, I'm not doubting it. I'm
No,
not
no, I'm
doubting it.
just
What I'm
saying
saying
those
is
are
I love the
real.
bold language. You
Yeah.
obviously have a reason. So that's what I want to ask you. Does a reason come just from the data, which is good enough? Or are you also getting any kind of feedback from industry or anybody under NDA who's saying, hey guys, this is world class, this is next generation? Where are you getting that boldness from? And I like that boldness. I like it a lot.
Well, fundamentally, the reason why we're this bold is because we now have the strong data to present it. So what happens is, as you sign people to NDA, they want, it's not, we're gonna do this. We have the scientific information behind this. We have the scientific information. We have the data results. We know how to make those batteries. We know how to make them better. And then now we're going to be starting to do the process, how to manufacture that type of material, okay, for the industry. Because we're going to focus ourselves in not doing the batteries, but doing the silicon anode material. And then we have been approached by companies that are in the graphite sector that would like to have our material to improve their batteries. Their graphite anode material. So this is why it's so bold, because it's true. Okay, people can try, but these are real results. When we talk to people in industry, they do stop and listen. Now it's the next stage of starting the commercialization, the discussion. We have taken a very conservative approach in the sense that probably based on experience on other projects, okay, I prefer to have more tangible results than not before we get this bold. Now we have a pathways. We also know how we're going to get to those issues. So the reason why we're this bold is because the results support this. I cannot find another, junior peer to have those type of results. They may have, because what happens in the industry is everybody uses, the capacity per gram matrix, okay? But the capacity per gram matrix only means that you can't do batteries with a lot of cycles. So you do your capacity per gram, and yes, you may go from having 14 cycle to 20 cycle, and in percentage, it's a massive improvement, but still only 20 cycle, okay? We're saying to the world 900 cycles.
Okay. Where does it go? Like 650,
well, I
thought was huge. Now you're 900. Do you go for 1250 cycles, 1500 cycles? Like
no,
how
I
far?
think
Or you've gone far enough that you've made the case.
Because the cycle is still ongoing, we're probably going to stop at 1,000, because it's at one point and we've proven what we wanted to prove. We've proven that it's not a fluke, it's not an accident, because as I've said in my previous interviews, okay, having those type of results, everybody can get them. They all died at about 100 to 200 cycle. Okay, for us to have batteries that have lasted all the way to 900 cycle demonstrate that the chemistry and the material that we've done are unique. We have something unique. That's what it means.
and you think it could get better. Quote, targeted process refinements could unlock even greater performance gains and further minimize long-term degradation
Yeah.
while
No,
maintaining, So you guys think you could get even better?
we could, but but what we have is good enough. But there's always room for improvement. The question is the marginal advantage cost and all those issues. But now we're not going to spend our life. We've demonstrated that we can do a great material that can be used. Okay, there's going to be a massive demand for those issues, even if it's not for EVs or all those issues. There's going to be a very strong demand for many of the materials we're working for. So I'm very, very excited by this.
One question that popped up on social media. So why are the results at 900 better than 650?
Okay.
You
When you
got
do
stronger when you should have got weaker, right?
No, it's a question that it's not just one battery. What it was is we were testing, I think I mentioned this. We had 3 batteries, and there was one that was starting to degrade. And then it completely died and finished. So we couldn't continue the statistics. So we had to go back and retake the data and restart all over the two. But in R&D, that's 100% expected. Okay, because the batteries we do are not, they don't have the commercial level of quality control. They're batteries to demonstrate the capacity of your material. All right. So they could be some outside level that has nothing to do with our material. The fact that we have two, okay, that are delivering the same level of results means the material works. So the other issues are probably nothing to do with us, more has to do with how the battery was manufactured, because those are lab scale batteries. So that's completely normal. It's part of the game. The other ones, when they died, they all died at the same time. Okay, so that's what we know. That's what we don't even bother showing them. We know when they die, that's finished, because once a battery dead, you can recharge it. But we have batteries now that at 900 cycles are better than brand new batteries.
Yeah, that's diabolical. That's diabolical, man. Um, what do you say to investors? I'm not talking about just your investors, but look, let's remember one thing. The reality is like your data is it's unbreakable. But having said that, Tom, the teacher, and Mary, the whatever, they have their day jobs and they don't dive into these press releases the way we might hear. And obviously, these beyond the press release really help. But the question getting at is, what do you tell investors when Georgecom Batteries trades under GCOM, on the CFC or whatever? I'm making all these claims, and another guy's making their claims. And quite frankly, the reason why I bring up John and Mary is they don't have the time to figure out one's got these metrics, one's got these metrics. What do you tell to investors, or what would you tell investors today? Like, why are you full stop, in your opinion? I'm asking, why are you full stop better than forget about the biggest company? You've already shown it there with Samsung, LG, and so on. But what do you talk about peer companies? What should investors be looking at to say this is the aha moment? This is the aha that makes HPQ way better than all the other small cap peers.
Okay, when I started in the industry, there was an interesting article that mentioned the trap of battery results. Okay, and it was mentioning how with half cell batteries, not fully completed batteries, not showing the full cycle life, you can say almost anything to make your battery looks good. Okay. So that's basically like the old saying is that at lab scale, you can do anything. All right. When it gets to be serious, is if you can reproduce that and do it at something commercial scale. That's what this is. Those are commercial batteries. We can compare ourselves to real commercial batteries. If you're inventing a completely new process and you're the only one doing it, and you can say, hey, my third iteration is better than my second, my fourth's better than my third. Yeah, it's true. But how does it compete in real world commercial thing? And this is why we're doing this.
Versus industry benchmarks at the end.
And,
Is there anybody? Are there any Georgecom batteries in the small cap space right now, without naming, that are beating industry benchmarks? Where you say, wow, there are a couple of companies out there that are beating industry benchmark, or is everybody just doing something? He said, Georgecom version 2, Georgecom version 3, and it sounds like I'm getting these 100% gains, but I'm getting them, at tiny scale. Is there anybody out there other than you guys that are beating the industry at lab scale and by the industry benchmarks? Sorry, and at that's the level that you're beating them at?
I have not found it. Some people will look at it. So that's really something different. And also, there's something very important to realize, okay? The cost of the material. In the sense that probably some batteries, those made probably with Sila, Group 14, and all those issues, are probably delivering even the same type of results. But they use an extraordinary complex, expensive process to make the material. I think there's the material that's called SiC, which is a combination of two types of material combined together, okay? But those materials have costs that are so expensive that only the top of the line, very expensive electric cars will have them, those type of batteries, because they're not economics of scale, or they're used in space exploration and in all those type of issues. So the more you have a batteries that is extraordinary performant, usually, okay, it's reserved for the very, very high niche, expensive market because it can't be commercialized. What we've done, okay, and we've demonstrated that we have a material and we have a pathway to do a material that starts from basically silicon metal that we upgrade to metallurgy grade silicon metal. We have the pure vat to do that in one step, okay? And then we take the material and then transform it into silicon anode material. I would tell people to go read the press release we issued in the patent. We explain the steps that are going to be required for this. There's nothing different from what we're going to have to do different. What we do different is with the help of the guys at Novacium, we've came up with innovative ways of doing the material cheaper. So we start with entire line of production, line controls, and do those issues. So, and the end result is this. 900
Yeah,
cycles.
that's a great explanation. That's because you got to be able to beat the benchmarks, but it can't cost you a king's ransom either, because there's no point. You have to be able to deliver on both, beat the industry benchmarks and do it at a cost efficient rate. And you're saying you can't find anybody in the small cap space, Georgecom batteries and everybody else. You're saying you don't find anybody. So because there are a lot of guys making claims, and it's hard. I got to tell you, it's hard for the common investor at home to differentiate. It really is. So I thank you for answering that question. That's that, and hopefully HPQ investors will, take these clips and put that out to investors to explain the big difference, because it is hard, right? Let's hop to something now. With your boldness, you're really starting to talk about market opportunities and computer consumer communications, 12 billion today, 38 billion by 2030. Then you go on to talk about addressable market. 95% of the anode material in today's lithium-ion batteries is graphite. You think you can place more than 10% of that graphite without cost of retooling, overhauls, etc., and capture a significant share of the addressable market from 10 to 15% of the total graphite market, which translates into 22.5 billion to 33 and 30. So let's say 28 billion on average.
Yeah.
Right. For you to put these numbers in the press release, and guys, remember, the exchanges don't allow Georgecom to say we can address $1 trillion market. Like, you got to be able to back that up. You can't just throw that to a press release. So, how confident are you that you can get to this without maybe someone sneaking up behind you? But right now, you guys saying I can capture 10 to 15%, and that'll translate into an addressable market of $28 billion. Okay, if you can't get all of that, even if you get a tenth of that, it's $2.8 billion. Like, how are we at this? Is this leg of HPQ Silicon at that size ready to go?
Well, we're on the right size to go in the right direction. As I said, it resembles a bit what we did with the fumed silica. Okay, so now the next step is going to build the pilot plant. But the beauty of it is that the market's going to be growing by leaps and bounds, and we're not behind the curve. I would dare to say that we're in a good position with regard to the curve of development and doing the next step. I think that's really, really important, really, to go. Yes, sir.
Did you keep going? Sorry, did you think
Okay.
you got cut off there?
Yeah, well, I think we got cut off. Sorry.
No, keep going. No,
Okay.
it's all right. Keep going.
No, but I think I covered that point. I'm just
Um, pilot plant.
yeah.
That's next, and you kind of allude to we'll either build it ourselves or we'll build it with somebody.
Well, go
Are we
back to
supposed to
what we
read between
announced.
the lines there?
Well, look at the press release we issued. We issued something in December about an agreement
Germans.
with a German company. That's part of the things they want to get into. Okay. At one point, we got to realize that we're not going to do everything. Okay. What we're going to do is find the right partners to help us reach the next step that they're going to do it. And we basically will make revenues out of all of those operations.
Devil's advocate. Do you have a concern about speed to market now? Speed to manufacturing, either with the Germans on your own or somebody else? Because look, I'm in Dubai right now, and I'm in the heart of. I was just at the Satoshi conference, invite only, global leaders in building technology and Web3 and blockchain, all that, and things are moving fast. So I have to assume that even in this space, things are moving fast. So the speed to
It's
market
more,
become
it's, can you go ahead?
no good. That's what I was going to say. Go ahead.
Well, the speed to market, well, we're talking about relatively more complex industrial technologies. So it's not the same thing as a blockchain, which is software where you can basically get some AI to help you speed up those processes. Okay. At the end, we still have to build equipment, physical equipment, incorporate those issues, validate them, make them to work. So that's why I'm not that worried about the speed to market, because there's a lot of basically counter currents going on that are all to our advantage. There's going to be the
Such
trade
as
war trade war between the U.S. and China, okay? Which one of the last tools that China have is basically to block the export of the materials. And even if the Chinese try to come and set up their installation, we know that once their installation are in European, North American type of complex, their supposedly competitive advantage disappears because they don't get, the sugar daddy money from the government to make them operate. So we know on a relatively peer-to-peer, we're in a good position to compete against them. We know that we have the technologies to improve it, to make it better, and to make it cheaper. And the reason why we know we're in those areas because we've designed a plant for pilot plant, and we're in discussion with financing institution, we're in discussion with grant organization, and we feel very comfortable that what we have is unique.
can you say whether you're in discussions with potential partners, potential end users? Because you have to start thinking about at this point, you know, you can talk about commercialization. You can call up George Com Consumer Electronics and say, "Hey, I got great batteries for you. I got great silicon anodes for you." Um,
Mhm.
can you start? Can you talk about whether you're starting to have those kind of discussions?
Well, we have it with at least one or two groups, but there'll be more, and it's just a preliminary discussion. The idea for us is now that we've demonstrated we've shown our unique ability to do something in this area. Now it's going to be to demonstrate a pathway to grow and to make it there. I can tell you that I've been having discussion with investment groups that are very excited about what we're doing, what we can do, and like the pathways, like we're going. They like all the verticalities that HPQ have, and they're very excited about them.
Including some groups in Dubai.
Yes, including some groups in Dubai.
There's a reason why I'm here. Let's flip over to Novacium. You've
Mhm.
increased your
Wait.
ownership.
You sort of skipped the one guy that wrote a long question for this interview
I
on
didn't see. Hey,
Agoraphoto.
buddy, it's late. It's middle of the night in Dubai here, so I don't catch it all.
Oh, but we
What was the
gave you an
question?
extra day for this one. Okay, let me go get
What
it.
was the question?
The guy actually did an effort to write a long question. It'd be sort
All
of
right.
like unpolite of us to not to reply to his questions.
Who is it, by the way? Who's the member?
Wait, because on my phone, well, sometimes I don't want to complain, but sometimes your website, your system is slow. I'm on a part of one. There it is. Questions for the interview, Ordos. You know him? Does that ring a bell?
Yes.
All right.
I don't
Hello,
know the
Bernard.
question.
Huh? Do you know the question?
Go on. No, I don't
Okay.
have the question though, but go on.
Okay. Hello, Bernard and George. I would like to ask some question with regard to today's news release, meaning yesterday. Hopefully, you can answer in the anticipated post-news interview. See, people criticize their interviews that people are in demand. That they were in withdrawal of it. But there's a strategic reason. You're in Dubai. I can't overly tax on you. What is the most likely path to be taken with the financing of the pilot plant? Joint venture with an industrial park owner that will provide financing, separated with banks, formula mix. Well, you forgot one thing: potential grants, and that probably will be with. That will probably win a big. Does the pilot plant still needs to be designed, or a design already done? Well, the pilot plant, yes, it will need to be designed because we're using a new patented process that we've announced, which basically means the basic technology to do the material, okay, exists. What we do differently is we're going to do it continuously. So my answer would be it's sort of like 50% already designed, 50% is going to be our unique capacity, which is under patent, which is what's going to make our material cheaper. Is that good? What do you expect with the rough pilot plant? What I can say about the rough capex to build a pilot plant is the following: the grant request we've made talked about something in the ballpark of about 4 to 5 million, and that grant was for about 75%. Does that cover enough the answer, George? Okay.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the capex. I was going to say, have you guys ballparked the capex? So that's
What's
great.
the
And by the way, that's something important to kind of repeat here because there's a lot of companies out there who say, okay, great, George Silicon is great. I need $85 million or $100
no,
million now to build a plant. And that kind of
we're talking about the pilot plant here still. What is the expected capacity of a pilot plant? Probably around 50 ton per year, which is already 2.5 times bigger than the other company, the other junior listed company announced today they're doing. So it's going to be bigger there. Does this pilot plant construction has the similar degrees of uncertainty in terms of timeline as the QRR and FSR? Can we expect an original to overshoot? Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at this, but I do find the question to be true. Can we expect to overshoot the original expected similar timeline by 6 to 12 months, similar to the FSR, which is simpler than the QRR? Okay. Construction and commission degrees of uncertainty. There's always uncertainty. Okay. But having learned from this process, the way we're going to structure it, there will be much more control over this. So we will try not to overshoot it by that much. But it's R&D. We can't guarantee. Really, we can't guarantee that.
yeah, there's always going to be some overshoot. I don't care what you tell me. Even
Yeah.
the biggest companies in the world have a little overshoot.
Where are your feedstock quartz for the FSR, QRR, SIOX plants becoming if you get constructing this in operation? We'll deal with that at that moment. And they're talking about QIMC, costs can be prohibitive and international. There is quartz in Europe, so it's not going to be. QIMC was designed for here, but QIMC now is more interested in hydrogen anyway. Since the SIOX production is ultimately based on QRR, does that mean that prior to SIOX plant operation, a QRR will need to be built in the same park? Or perhaps the initial pilot plant for the SIOX will use a third-party MG silicon metal, i.e. not made by the QRR? It's a very good question. It's one I've addressed many, many times, but I'm happy to readdress it. The QRR part of the business is the lowest, basically marginal revenue generator part of it. Okay. So we take a material that will, if we buy it, will cost us $2 to $3 a kilogram, convert it to materials to go to 50. Okay, that's what we're doing. So for us, even if we make it ourselves and we cut the cost to $1, okay, it's just $1 difference. So right now for us, it's much more advantageous to use outside source of feedstock for our material, make the entire added value. Once we've done all of that changing, we demonstrate we move the product, then we can go take a look at using our QRR technologies to differentiate us in the sense that we can be fully vertically integrated. What does that mean? Is we will not have a supply shock risk. Let's assume that you know, my competitor uses recycled silicone material from solar panel, and he doesn't have the right material, can't have those. That's not going to be the issue. That's the business strategy. Focus more on the high value product first, then finish the entire line of production.
And it does make sense there, by the way, because at scale, you know, $2 in selling 50 means 25 times more. $1 selling at 50 means 50 times more. But at this stage, that's not all that important. But at scale, it will be important. So I guess the QR at that point could become very, very instrumental. All right, guys, you might have noticed a cut there. An important phone call came in for Bernard. He even had to mute. I couldn't hear what was going on, but it was an important phone call, so it's always potentially good news. Perfect timing too, because I was going to hop on the Novacium news, where you've increased your stake from 20 to 28.4%. So I got to tell you, it's a bit of a weird number, and I'll tell you why, because I put my corporate lawyer hat on, which is typically when you increase your number, you want to do something like get to 35% so that you have enough power to block any special, 67% kind of votes or anything like that, or 51%. So, but 28.4, it seems like a bit of a weird number. Why that number? Why now?
Okay, there's why now? Because now is the right time. Okay, why now? As I said in the press release, because it's more than a financial transaction, really a strategic decision. It's really a time now. We've been working for about 2 years, 2.5 years together. Okay, everything is gelling, everything is coming online very, very fast. And it was the time to do it. But we have, for tons of reasons, we have to structure it in a certain way. Okay, so it might look front loaded at this point, but at the end, it's gonna work out very, very well. The way we're gonna make sure we're doing this transaction, two things happen. Okay, the founders of Novacium become large shareholders of HPQ, so their interests become much more intertwined into what's going on with HPQ as opposed to their shareholdership in Novacium. Okay. Second of all, from the way the structure was done, we have a golden share. That's sort of why in our financial statements, we explained this in our financial statement, they're actually, combined together, but it's really an independent company. So it is all those issues put together that, means that we're in a good position. It is the right time, because I think, the balance of 2025, although the beginning of 2025 wasn't bad operationally wise, the balance of 2025 is going to be even bigger, because now we have more and more people, heading over the door. I'll just give you an example. We issued the waste to energy, last week? Was it last week? Yeah, you were in Dubai. Last week, and we already got 2-3 companies that are sniffing around to say, wait a minute, we want to discuss about it. It's a massive problem. Look, we're developing solutions that can work. We're delivering things that are very rare. But the guys at Novacium, okay, let's be very realistic. The brainiacs of Novacium, the founders at Novacium, have very, very good ideas, and the chief operating officer, Jed, is very good at getting things done very well, very fast, and developing an incredible network. Okay, so we've developed an incredible network. We're well positioned in Europe, and it's a very important thing. As we all see with what happened in Canada, it's a very strategic position for HPQ to make sure that we have a position where we can enter those markets. We're not fully dependent on the US market. It's a great market, but we're not fully dependent on it. So there's a lot of moving parts at the same time that says this was the time to do it. This is a good time for us to do it, because I see the potential. Okay, I really do see the potential. There's more than HPQ than just the fume silica, and I see the potential of all these things to be bigger. The dross, right? And as we say in this press release, what's really unique about this is we don't need billions of dollars, not even hundreds of millions of dollars, to be commercially ready. Okay, and a lot of the technologies we have, we will partner with people that will build the equipment, but we will get very significant, nice royalty, regular revenue flows. Okay, from every one of those projects. So this is why it's really
you got 3 projects. You've got obviously the silicon-based anodes, you got the autonomous hydrogen stations, and you got the black aluminum dross, the bad. So
and you got to remember the Yeah, very common. The Novacium development cost is going to be 75 to 80% financed by the French government. Okay. Once we have an operating prototype, okay, because it's the French army that's going to validate this, then therefore it's going to be validated for NATO. And this is a massive demand, portable hydrogen system, those type of situation. That's big. Aluminum recycling is also massive. Okay, and it's a massive environmental issue. So, of course, the first companies that are going to come and see this are those that have the biggest cost associated with them. So every one of those businesses, okay, have the potential to generate significant market capitalization to HPQ. This is what the guys have recognized. And they understand that this market realization is going to come when we start signing, more than just NDAs with large people. But we have those in the pipeline. I know all these things. I'm fully aware of all these things. So,
but the fudsters know more. Like, what do you what do you say to them now? I remember there was a time when you're almost a little worried about them, and they'd say things, and a long time ago. But you've got to be at the point now where you're saying, do your best. I've got 3-4 verticals lined up here that could go commercial at any time in 2025. Or at least I think you do. I mean,
no,
what do you say to them? What do you say to them, or
well,
what do you say what do you say to your loyal shareholders to say to them?
First of all, to my loyal shareholders, I said thank you for the loyal and thank you for realizing that there's a bit of insanity going on in these regards. But what I cannot wait to be, which is going to be very, very soon, is now having these batteries. Okay, next time, very, very soon. Even Peter wrote it on Agoracom. We'll be having the fume silica powder. In this regard, I'm just going to wait till we have the fume silica powder. Then we send it to Evonik. They'll like it because we'll know what we send them. It's like it's just normal. We know what we're going to be sending them is going to be good. And even to be totally honest, like as long as the first material, second material we do resembles the first or the second material we did at the laboratory scale, we know in the right direction. So this is why I like this is so close. Okay, this is palpable. People think about this. Why would Pyro get so many agree to take so many shares in HPQ at 27 cents? Why did these guys accept this? They know what they're bringing into it, so they know. In their mind, they say, okay. In their mind, and I know them. In their mind, they're thinking, assuming that doesn't work. That's not at all what us and Pyro think. But assume that doesn't work. We know what we're bringing in is going to be worth more than that.
Devil's advocate. I know you mentioned you've got the golden share, or you've got a golden. I don't know. You couldn't be specific there. It seems like, but what stops? I mean, you mentioned the press release that you're beating Panasonic, LG, Samsung. What stops them from coming in and saying, "Hey, Novacium, we'll buy you for $100 million, 150, 200 million." I don't know. By the way, I'm just saying a number. What I got to ask, because when I see 28%, that means somebody can to buy the majority.
Well, we're sort of well positioned for that not to happen. We would see it happening. And now that they're large shareholders in HPQ, we'll do probably more of the transaction through HPQ. See, it's the idea is to make sure that everybody works together, not pulling from one side to the other. Okay, and this is how we've done. Novacium has gotten so far because of a combination of two things. Okay, the incredible work that the guys are doing at Novacium, that I cannot take it away. It is fully their capacity. I bow my hat to these guys. What these guys have done technically, what they've done with waste to energy, okay, with the black draws, blows my mind. Same thing with the Metagen reactor. When you see it in operation, blows my mind. Same thing with the batteries. I can tell you that some battery experts, laboratory experts, are blown away with those type of results. Now, as we start moving more toward commercialization and those type of issues, it came in. So it was their brainiac, their capacity, and HPQ being the founder, because I was there at the right time, the right place, being one of the commercial founders and supporting the development. But we always knew that gradually over time, we would have to increase, we would like to increase our position. But everything is moving much faster than we anticipated. Listen, if you would have told us, if I would have told,
now.
that's the why now.
now.
If George, if I would have told you what March of last year when we started producing, when we started to produce our first battery was in January, February, we started to talk about this. And I tell you, okay, by a year from now, okay, we'll have a batteries at 900 cycle beats everybody. Everybody would have been died laughing. Okay, but we did. If anybody told you that we've invented a hydrogen system, generating hydrogen system, which can be working everywhere in the world, that's going to be needed, and basically use solid chunks of material, that's going to allow us to make a revenue stream, not based on selling the machine. Okay, so that we can get other people to build the machines. It's going to be built on the fuel that goes into it. It's like a cartridge printing. And then you have the third technology, which is the waste to energy, which we basically take something that costs money to these people, and we turn it into something that makes money. It's like, it's a no-brainer. So all these things together, and that's just in Novacium. And we combine this with the fume silica reactor, which we still have a few surprises to come to present to people to make it even more sexy and interesting. Okay, that comes from my guys in Novacium.
Sexy? Come on.
Oh.
No, I'm saying the good way. Like that's okay. If you're gonna make fume, you might as well have Justin Timberlake then be your spokesperson. You're bringing sexy back to fume silica.
No, but
there's more to come. Well, I'm in Dubai till the 15th. Am I going to see you again? Is the Bernard HPQ Agoracom press release travel indicator gonna be right again? You think we'll see you again before I leave?
I should, pretty soon there'll be something about fume silica, about other things also. It's close. Like Peter, I don't think Peter would have come out and said that yesterday. He's been very cautious about this, but and please, I think it's funny. In Peter's text, he wrote, a go, no-go decision. Okay. Well, it's going to be the go, no-go decision in the sense that we deal with, Evonik, player A, or player B, or player C. If I was somebody else, I'd be more worried about, who else can come in, because the moment we show the material, it's known for everybody. So the window is going to be relatively small. Okay. The only advantage that Evonik is going to have is they'll be the first one that's going to validate it, because I know all the other companies, they're sort of doubting Thomas, and they're going to say, send us a sample. So we know the timeline. So it's going to be, once we start making the material, things are speeding up. And now it's, as somebody correctly wrote, timelines is not one of our forte. I recognize this. But at one point, we get to a point where we're making the stuff, which is now.
And again, you're not making pizzas, which has been made for time eternal. So if you're late on a pizza, people have reason to get mad, but this is brand new territory. You're in uncharted territory now. My man, congratulations on the massive milestone on the battery side. Like I said at the beginning, and I think you kind of validated it. It looks like it's shattering. And when you're comparing to Panasonic and LG and Samsung, and you're way above them, I guess no other way to say it. But congratulations. It sounds like there's more in the mix. Obviously, I think you like to drop little tidbits, but you can't tell us a lot. But that's great because we know we're gonna have you back. And it's Friday tomorrow, so have a great weekend. And have a great last question for you: who you have picked in the Super Bowl? Who's gonna win the Super Bowl?
I don't make any picks. I'm not a gambling person.
Yeah, I'm not talking about gambling.
I don't
Are
like
you
to be
watching the Super Bowl? Maybe not even a football fan.
I'm not even be watching it.
I'm that boring. One of the rare guys.
Okay.
You're gonna be on Radio Canada. All right, buddy. Thank you. Thanks for joining. This is 44 minutes until we close. So thanks for everything. Have a great day to everyone at home. I'm getting a little tired because it's late at night in Dubai, but hopefully you guys got a lot from this. I know I did. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. I am picking Kansas City to win only because I hate the Eagles because I'm a Cowboys fan and I do not want to see the Eagles win. But that's my pick. Enjoy the Super Bowl, everybody. Have a great day. See you next time.
Hey, small cap fam. I hope you loved this interview because more than a dozen people were involved in its production for the sole purpose of making you happy. If so, can you take a moment to support both our awesome guest company and Agoracom? Your engagement means the world to us. First, if you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up by tapping that like button. It's a small gesture that helps this interview reach even more potential investors to discover today's guest. Second, we would love to hear your feedback on this interview, so please leave a comment below. Be sure to keep it clean, but feel free to poke fun at George. If you loved what you heard on today's video and want to dig into our guest company right away, take a look at the links in the description below. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to never miss another great Agoracom small cap video. Thank you so much. We couldn't do any of this without you. Make sure to come back soon.